Also, a disclaimer, I'm not good at this game. So you will probably have something quite funny to watch because I'm really not good at this game. Hey everyone, this is Thecos, and today I'm bringing you my playthrough of Café, which is a pretty neat 1 to 4 player game. I've been wanting to bring you a playthrough of this for quite a while now, but I think now it's time because I've played the game several times, and while it's not bad, it will probably not stay in my collection because there are just other games that I like to play more than this one. But still I want to show it to you because I think like a lot of people like this game and you might enjoy it as well, especially those of you who like solo playthroughs and solo content. This game is by Roller and Coaster. Roller and Coaster, that's pretty funny. And before I will show you how to play the game, let me just quickly set it up. Alright, and that is pretty much the setup of the game. Now you see I've pulled up the camera quite a bit, although there's hardly any setup here, but that is just because we will be puzzling like our landscape here. We might have a little bit too much room, but rather that than me having to pull up the camera like mid-video, if you know what I mean. Alright, so I suppose we can get started. Let me just guide you through what we see here. So up here we have like the different like kinds of coffee beans that we can get. These are represented by cubes that we will be like moving around like on these cards here that we are building up. Also we have our own little player card. Down here we can see like which beans we have in storage. These will give us points at the end of the game. We will get points for the beans with the least amount of cubes, and also for the beans with the second least amount of cubes. Also, there are specific coffee shops in here that we can deliver coffee to, and if we do that, like if we completely deliver all the coffee that a shop is asking for, we also receive points. So in here we have our starting card. I will be explaining that in detail, but you can see, I hope you can see it, that there's like A, B, C, and also there are D's here. The A is like planting the coffee, B is that we dry it, C, then we roast the coffee, and D is when we bring it to the shops, or we can instead bring it into our warehouse here. That's like pretty much the gist of the game. And how a round begins is by turning over 3 of these cards here. Actually, I will have to do it a little bit differently. See, we need that room. So let me just do it like this, just to have a little bit more room. Yeah, there we go. That is fine. So with this we are definitely in a better shape when we pull that down a little bit more. So you see, we actually do need the room, and then a third card. And then we choose one of these cards and the other 2 are just discarded. We do that until this stack is empty. That is 8 rounds. And then we tally up the points. That is pretty much like the entire premise of the game. So the coffee cups are very important because we have as many actions per turn as there are coffee cups here in our area. At the moment we have 1. If we put any of these here, then we have more than 1, of course. We can have up to 8 coffee cups, which is a lot. What we do is we take like one of these cards, for example, just as an example, I will take this one here, and then we can like cover between 2 and 4 squares in our area here. So it means we will always like be covering other stuff. At the beginning we want to have beans, of course, but we also want to have several of these squares so we can dry our beans, because you are being rewarded for adjacency. Let me just kind of explain you how that works. So usually when we have our actions, we can put beans on like we can put square like cubes on our beans here. That means we are then planting beans, and then we can go roast them. Usually we can just take one of these beans and put them on a square with that roasting icon. But let's just say we had this here. I mean, that's not a valid way to put it, but let's just say we could put it there. Then we could instead, if we wanted to dry, because there are 2 of these right next to each other, we can actually put beans on both of them, right? We can only put like one color of bean on one of these, right? So if we had like more reds, we could take all the reds and put them on there, and all the browns put them on there, right? And the same thing with the roasting. If we had like a second roasting there, usually we could just put one there. But if we had a second there, we could also put the other one. So you are rewarded for adjacency for having more stuff there. That is something that is very important to know for us, so we know how to kind of like build our area here. That is very important. Like, this adjacency is key. Also, a disclaimer: I'm not good at this game, so you will probably have something quite funny to watch because I'm really not good at this game. All right, so let's just see what we want to have here. A coffee cup is good, of course, but actually, like, being able to dry more than one is very important. But the problem is we cannot really put this in a good way here. Not really. So I think instead I should take something else. Maybe do something like, well, I need to cover something. I don't really want to cover any beans, but I will have to cover some beans. So, but you want to build in that direction here, right? Because you want to roast and stuff. So what I could do actually is do something like this, maybe, right? And then we only have like these two colors for now of beans, but you will be able to build in that direction. That is an option. Otherwise I can't really find anything worthwhile. Well, we could also do something like, maybe something like this. Maybe we'll be able to like put like something to dry later on here to the left. That might be an option. And then we have our actions. So we count these coffee cups. There's 2. So we have 2 actions now. And what we then do is then we like can use our actions for A, B, C, or D, as I already said, right? We cannot dry or roast anything because we don't have any beans yet here, but we can put beans here, right? So usually we would use 1 action point to put a bean on a square. But if we have adjacent beans, we can use 1 action point to put 1 bean on each of these squares. So that is pretty cool. So you see, we already have like 3 beans on here. That's why I said adjacency is key, right? That is very important. Okay, and then I still have an action point left. We cannot roast because first we need to dry, but we can do that now, right? So we only have one square here for drying, but we could like take one of these and just put them on that square. So you know what? I will probably build in that direction. So then you put that on there with my last action point. And then we discard the cards that we are not using here, and we are starting the second round. That is how the game works. Quite simple, but quite complicated as well. There's also like these boats here. These don't do anything in the regular mode. There is a version in the multiplayer mode where these actually are being used. And the multiplayer game functions almost exactly the same as I'm doing it now. We would like put 3 cards there. The starting player takes 1 card, then the card is being replaced. Then the next player takes a card is being replaced. When every player has gotten a card, these cards are discarded, everybody uses the action points, and that's it. So it's a very multiplayer solitaire game, right? So this probably is best as a solo game, I would say. Okay, so let's see. I want this. Can I put this there? I can put it here. I can't quite put it the way I would like to. But this would be nice. We could put like a lot of beans here. That's not too bad. And then we can maybe put like something to dry over there later. That would be a decent idea. It's not perfect, but it would be decent at least. Another thing I could do. Can I take this one here? Well, that's not better. That's not better. No, not really. Not really, no. I will keep it like this. So I will take this one, we'll put it right here. Like this. And then we will discard those later. And then we have 1, 2 action points. Okay. So let's see. So now we can actually roast that one. And it would make sense to do so, right? Just so that we have it gone. Because we cannot add any of these cubes later on, right? So for example, if I wanted to now add coffee beans here, then I couldn't put like more red ones on there first, right? I only can do that once, and then we need to move them off in order to put more red ones or other cubes on there. And I will not roast immediately, actually. Actually, with my first action point, I will take this bean and put it here to dry. And then with another action point, I would just refill all these beans here, I think. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So let me just do it like this here. And you see, at the moment, so far we haven't made any points yet. I'm pretty bad at the game, as I already said. Okay, so round 3 of 8. Let's see what we can do here. We also need some yellow beans. That's quite important. This here, I could put this here, but these beans would be kind of far off. Oh man, I'm really unlucky with like all the placements here. But this is like something we need to do. We need to like get like yellow beans later on maybe. But I think that is, I will do it like this. I have no other way. But we also need to roast quite soon, right? That's also quite important. Okay, so, and now I can like show you like a few better moves. We still have 2 actions because no coffee cups. That's one thing I will talk about later when I talk a little bit about the game, what I like about it and what I don't. That the game is very luck heavy. Yeah, very luck dependent regarding your draws. Okay, so we have 2 actions. I will move one over there for to roast it. So we have these available again, and then I will put the red ones here, and here I will put the green ones. So we can take them from pretty much anywhere, right? The adjacency here is just for placing them, but we can actually take like coffee beans, like for B, from everywhere. Also, we can take the roasting from everywhere, right? Okay, so these were already my 2 turns. That's already it. But we've slowly, you see, now we're being able to put more stuff there. Now we need to build out our roasting engine as well, and then we can finally start making some decent points, hopefully. All right, so let's see. Do we have something to roast here? We have something. Can I put that up there somehow? Yeah, I can. Difficult. I could, but I would have to get rid of my coffee cup here and only have 1 action. That is not too great. I don't like this. Alternatively, we can also just give us 1 more action. Maybe like this. Because like this, then we would also have like a yellow bean here. I think that's not too bad. Let's do like this first and then hope that we can roast a bit more later on. All right, so we have 3 actions now. 3 action points. That's not too bad. And then, well, first of all, the roasting. Now we can, like when it's roasted, we can either bring it to one of these shops. You see here D, right? But we can also just put it in our storage. And I think I will for now put it in our storage. If we had like more cubes in there, we could put some of it in our storage, some in different shops, right? But I will put it in our storage for now. All right, there was 1 action point. Then I will get these down here, and then I will also get these into our storage. Okay, so you see, finally we're getting a little bit done, but it's still not enough. Regarding points, we will get points like for the bean type with the lowest number of cubes, we get 2 points each, and with the second lowest number of cubes, 1 point each. So at the moment, these would be the 2 lowest. That would be 3 points, which is definitely not a lot. All right, okay. We can work with this one here. With this one, we can actually work. So I can build over here, and if there's a bean, then it will just disappear. But I will put that on here, because now we can roast more. We have more beans here. Now we're doing quite fine. The green ones are not perfect, but we have 3 there already, so that is okay. That's actually not a bad move here, because now we can roast a little bit more. That's good. We still have our 3 actions, which is also good. So okay, not too bad, not too bad. So first I will use 1 action just to put like a lot of beans here everywhere, right? Like all adjacent ones I can put like with 1 action point. I can fill them all up. That is good. Like this. And with my second action point, I need to free these here. So I will roast with my second action point. That means I can move like on both because they're adjacent. And then with my third action point, I will just remove these here. All right. Okay, so we're getting places. All right, but we are almost like halfway through the game already, right? So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. yeah, we're almost through, and then I will like say a few things about the game. What I like about it, what I don't like about it, and why I will actually get rid of it, most likely. So we do have another roasting spot here. That would be good, because we have 3 to dry, 3 to roast. So we could actually combine that quite well. I could put it up here, because you always need to cover at least 2 squares. I don't want to cover anything here, of course. Yeah, there's no other way to get them adjacent there. No. So that means we will lose that brown bean, which is quite bad. So we will need a brown bean somehow again. But that's the only way to do it at the moment, unfortunately. And now you see why I reserved that much space here, because we actually need that space, right? What I will have to do now, let me just put the cards over here now, because we need all of that space. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, we have even 4 actions now. All right, so let's get a few to dry here. Red, yellow, and green. Then I will roast all of those with a second action point. Then I will get them all into my storage here, which is another action point. With my last action point, I will fill up these beans again. All right, so you see, it's like a, yeah, could you call it an engine builder? Maybe it's like a small engine builder type of game. What is that here? I think that was one that I removed. Okay, so at the moment we would take a look here. 2 points each, 1 point each, so we would have 7 points now, which is really not very good, but we will get more and more. I will have to try to somehow get more brown beans. So let us get 3 cards here. I will now do it on the right, because we don't have much room anymore, and that's the second to last turn. So now the most important thing is getting at least 1 brown bean here, and I can do that quite easily. Oh no, wait. There's a brown one. Oh, is that possible somehow? No, it's not. I could put it on here, like this. That would work pretty well. Yeah, let me do it like this. All right, yeah, that's nice. Okay, can you see? Yeah, you can still see it on screen. That's good. Let me just pull them maybe up a little bit, all of that, so you can see it a little bit better even. Okay, good. So, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 actions still. Okay, so again, I will do 1 action here. Well, actually, oh wait, that was there. Actually, no, I will use 1 action to put more beans on here. A red and a brown one. Then I will use an action to dry. So what do I need? I need yellows for sure. Then I need the brown one for sure, and green one for now. I think that's the most important one. Oh, and I also have 1 more there. Well, I can actually get all of them there. I can actually dry all of them. That's great. And then I will use another action point to roast them. Which ones do I need to roast? Well, all of them except the red one for now. And then use my last action point to get them all. Well, I could also like put the beans now here. I don't have a red one. Red and green actually don't give me any points, right? So it would make more sense to get like the green one here in the shop, and then a red one later on, and then put more stuff here, like this. Okay, great. So that was my turn again, and then we have our last turn. I'm not doing too well, but I mean, I told you I'm not good at the game, right? Actually, like this engine I'm building here is quite good, but I'm never really that good at the game. You know what? Let me just put that here, so we have even more beans, like this, I suppose. Let me just pull all of that up so you can see it better. There we go. Let me just fix that. Was like this approximately. It doesn't look great, but I think it's fine now. Okay. So yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 actions. So let's see how much we can do with that. First, I will use 1 action to fill up on beans, and these are all adjacent here, so that is pretty crazy. We can do like a lot of stuff here. There and there, and then another red one up here. Then we have 2 yellows, And we have 2 greens. I think that's it. That's all adjacent, right? Yeah. All right, so that was one action. Then with another action, I will dry again. I definitely need the greens. Also, we need the browns for sure. And, well, also the yellows. Like that. I cannot put the red ones there because there's nothing more to dry. And then another action to roast. Let me see. Well, did I already pull them down? Wait, 4 there, and then to dry. Yeah, and then to roast. So I need to put them down again. And then brown is important. Green and yellow. And then the last action to... Oh, no, I didn't do that here. But the red one would have been worse, I think. I think it's better if I do it like this. And then I put them all in my storage. So I didn't actually bring anything to any coffee shop. And that is it. That is the end of the game because the stack of cards is empty. So, and what we do now is now we count up all of our points, right? And counting up the points is quite simple, actually. So we're looking at the color with the least number of cubes, which is brown, and we get 2 points each. So that's 2, 4, 5 times 2. That's 10 points. And then for the color with the second least, we get 1 point each. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. That's either green or red. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah. So that's 10 plus 6. That's 16 points. And that is pretty bad. That is not a very good score, but that would be how you play Café. But I'm very bad at the game. So doing it like this is very important because if you if you focus on only 2 colors, then you would only get points for these, right? So you need to have them all pretty much equally. That is one thing that is very important. And you can also deliver it to the coffee shops. But this one here, for example, the green at the end, that green one counted 1 point, and I lost that one because I put it there. I should have put it here. I would have had 17 at least. Putting a green and a red there would have been good, but I wasn't able to put the red there because I only had 3 roasting spots, right? Had there been a 4th one, I could have done a little better maybe, but you have only 8 turds, which is really not a lot, right? So it's always like that, but I think oh, now my engine starts going, then the game's already over. All right, but that is how you play Café, which was kind of a rhyme. All right, let me say a few words about the game. So, what I really enjoy is the way the game, the engine building and everything works in here. That works really well, right? Because this adjacency rule is a pretty cool mechanism. That means you just don't put cards down and just put stuff anywhere, but you have to try to make everything have everything adjacent. So that works really well. But what I think is an issue is that it takes a while for the game to get going and then it's already over. I need 3, 4 rounds, maybe even 5 to kind of start setting up an engine, and then I can only use that engine for a few days, for a few rounds, right? So that is a little bit difficult. Maybe there is some other way to work with it. To say at the beginning you only have bean and drying spots, and later on you just dismantle the bean spots and put roasting spots there. Maybe that's possible. I have never been able to do that because you don't have the time to do all of that. You have to do everything at the same time, and it just takes too long, right? So I don't know. I'm not quite sure if that balance 100% works. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just bad at this kind of game. I'm not sure. The other thing that is a little bit problematic in my opinion is the luck of the draw. So we have, let me get these cards again. Whenever you draw cards, it is possible to draw cards that don't help you at all. For example, let's say I would need more drying spots at the beginning. Nothing here. So what do I do then? Oh, well, there's one actually. But let's just say I would draw another card without one, like this. That is definitely possible that I draw something like this. All right, so what do? Well, I could use this one here and put the roasting spot there for later on. That's fine, but it won't help me at all at the moment. And so it takes longer for me to actually do things because roasting is one of the last steps, right? So the luck of the draw can be quite brutal. And that is something that I'm not quite sure I enjoy too much in a game that is that short. If you had ways to mitigate it during the course of the game when it takes a little bit longer, okay, cool, sure. But that's not the case here. So that is, I think, a little bit difficult. So yeah, that's just something I'm not quite sure that I really like. Also, like going for these coffee shops, I think you can do it if you think like you have like excess cubes that you won't use in your calculations here anymore, but you don't really know that. And like this one, for example, here's one good example, like 3 cubes and 4 points. That's not a whole lot. Like having 3 cubes here, that means that one of these cubes is at least one of these cubes is worth 1 point. Maybe 2 of them are worth 3 points, right? Is it then worthwhile to try filling that up? Maybe there's a color that you don't really use, like the red, that I didn't use at the end, right? It depends on like how you have your roasting and drying spots set up, but that is kind of difficult to actually deliver that to the coffee shops. In the last game I played, I actually delivered to a lot of coffee shops, and I got almost the same score as I did today. I think I got like 2 or 3 points more maximum. So yeah, the luck of the draw is an issue in this game. Apart from that, I like the simplicity of it. The rules are very simple to teach, very simple to learn. The game is quite quick to set up. All you do at the beginning that takes slightly longer, so to speak. Let me just get the cards here. Oops, wait. Is like remove cards from the beginning of from the game at the very beginning, right? So for a solo game, I removed like half of the cards, and the more players you play with, the less cards you remove, right? But look, there are even more cards here, which is also an issue for the luck of the draw, right? Because you could be like removing like a lot of drying spots, for example, right? And then you like have an issue just getting your engine going. So yeah, it is a cool game with a cool theme. It works quite well in terms of its engine building, and also it's like really easy to set up and teach and everything, and still has like a certain amount of depth and puzzliness to it. But just the luck factor with the luck of the draw, the length of the game, which is too short in my opinion until everything gets going, these are like factors that make me like occasionally want to play this game. But with occasion I mean like every 3 to 6 months I pull this off the shelf, and that is definitely not enough. There are like other puzzle games that I enjoy a lot more, so that's why this game will probably leave my collection. But I hope you enjoyed my playthrough. Maybe this will like give you an idea of whether or not you could enjoy this game. Alright, so that concludes my playthrough of Café. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. As usual, I want to thank all of you for your support. I very much appreciate every single one of you. I especially want to give a shout out to my patrons who are very generous by supporting me on Patreon. The biggest thanks go out to Thecos, who's currently the most generous supporter at the highest tier. Thank you so much for that. Also a shout out to Ryan Hall, who also supports me at the highest tier. I had just recorded this video before he started supporting me, which is why I'm adding this while editing this video. Thank you very much as well. That's very generous. You can support me in numerous ways. You can watch my videos, you can like them, you can comment below them, you can even subscribe to my channel if you like my content enough, which would be amazing. You can also support me on Patreon, and you can also join my Discord server to hang out with me and my amazing community. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the very next video or on my Discord server. Take care everyone, stay safe, and cheers!